Hey, fellow carriers of the light. This is Dr. Maclin here, your chronic pain specialist who is turned Reiki healer and coach. I help women, especially professional women, through difficult times in their lives, such as heavy illnesses and also big life transformations, such as going through a career transition, much like I have done myself. So I just wanted to jump on and just explain and I don't know, just talk to you guys about something that's happening with me right now. I'm not going to say it's happening to me because I know it's definitely happening for me, but I am curious, and I suspect that there are some other energies at play that may or may not have my greatest good in their best interest. So anyway, I have not seen you guys since July, I believe, which is about 5-6 months ago. The reason for that is I have been growing, transforming. I have been birthing this business and working with clients and just getting acclimated to my new life in New Orleans. So right now I am in Buffalo, New York, which is my hometown, and it is January 8th. No, it's January 9th. And I've been delayed here since December 28th, in part due to the blizzard of 2022 during Christmas, which was very intense and scary. I could feel that it was the energy of Earth and universe trying to help push energy through the climate and through our ecosystem. It didn't feel as much of a rage as it felt cleansing to me. But it was very scary to go through. A lot of people lost power. Unfortunately, 40 people in our area died. There was just a lot of damage to homes. Even my grandfather's home suffered damage with water pipes bursting. It's been a difficult time, so part of the reason why I was delayed was because of the weather. The airport was closed for a while. Then I also knew that I needed to stay here to help my mother, especially with the renovations that were to ensue on the house. And so thankfully that has begun, and it is going well. I also got delayed because I am trying to bring my dog back with me, little Max. He has not been in New Orleans yet. I was able to find, I think I already talked about this, but the perfect apartment for us. And now that I am ready to receive him, I'm trying to bring him back. And one of my flights I had to move forward into the first week of January because the layover was about 5 hours. Then there was a weather system hitting New Orleans that further delayed us because I didn't want to possibly be stuck in a city that I didn't know. I was probably going to be stuck in Chicago, having to possibly get a hotel room or call a friend to stay overnight, and that just wasn't gonna be good for my dog. And I heard that the weather was pretty intense there anyway, so I'm glad that I made that decision. But then the day that we were supposed to leave, which was the next day, or maybe it was 2 days later, I found out that Max ate a metal button off of one of the couches in the house, one of my parents' couches in the bathroom, in the basement. That was shocking because he's done that before. And I thought the situation was rectified in that we had discussed with my parents that the buttons would be removed from the couch. And I know this is gonna sound blamey, but I definitely don't blame. But it was also my fault in part because I wasn't really noticing what was going on with the couch and what Max was doing until I noticed that half of one of the metal buttons was gone. So the day that we were leaving, Max got an x-ray, and of course there was a metal button in his belly. So he had that endoscopically removed the very next day. And of course I canceled my flight to be able to stay a few more days to make sure that he wasn't going to be sick or anything. So he ended up recovering quite smashingly from the procedure. But then today, our rescheduled day, the flight that we ended up getting on became damaged during the process of backing away from the gate. There's usually a truck that kind of helps pull the plane out of its parking spot at the gate, and I felt the plane chugging. Then when it stopped, there was a loud, it wasn't really loud, but there was a it was a hard stop. We definitely kind of like, there was a jerking motion, and I thought, that's strange. I've never felt anything like that before. And of course, something got damaged by that process. And so I'm thinking again, okay, wow, there's another delay. So all along I had been feeling this energy. I mean, there were so many different things in the process that have kept us here. And as you can see, just taking a little break, this is my kid bedroom. So I'm definitely in Buffalo. But there are so many things in the process that have held us up, very different things. But even still, like when I went to leave this afternoon to go to the airport, of course I left my phone here. So I had to come back. I was worried that I was going to be late for the flight. Of course, I wasn't. The airport at the time of the day that I was leaving was pretty, it was pretty available. There was not available. It was pretty free. It wasn't very crowded at all. So, back to the energies and what's going on. I feel that in part, I might be being held up a bit because I am needed in some way here. I feel that what else is happening is I'm definitely wanted here in terms of help with my family and all that's going on. However, I do have my business and my work life. Thankfully, it's online, so people can be easily rescheduled. But I just wanted to talk to how I'm reacting to all this, how I am letting whatever is happening for me just happen. So I'm not getting upset with these changes. I kept my cool with Max having to have a procedure again. I do have to say that I was a little annoyed that the button situation with the the couch hadn't been rectified. However, that wasn't, I can't lay blame, and I was also not really watching him and noticing what was going on with the couch. So, there's that. But in general, I've kind of just been rolling with the punches and just letting whatever is happening happen, because whatever forces are working for me, and whatever I'm being shielded from, or I would also say even whatever place that I'm being set into, wherever I'm supposed to be, or whoever I'm supposed to meet because of this, it's all for the better, because there's so many different people involved, not just me, but my dog and my parents. And not only that, my grandfather, who thankfully he's in a rehab center, because unfortunately he does have lung cancer, and he should be able to come home. Well, he actually was discharged and could come home from the rehab center. However, because of the damage to the home, he has to stay. But because he's in this rehab center, he is receiving great care. He's not at home by himself with just my mom coming by to check in on him and bring him food whenever she can, because she is 78. She can't do as much as what she would like to. Plus she has her life here with my dad and her own life, but she does as much as possible, but he's mostly by himself. And with him being an end-stage renal failure patient who's on hemodialysis and who also has diabetes, he needs a lot of care at this point. So it's a good thing that he is in a place where he's being taken to his appointments. His appointments are being scheduled. He has attendants that can bring him food and water, and he's basically being waited on like he were in a hospital or a nursing home. And he really likes it, because he's not alone. He's got a nice room, so that's a blessing. But I have to say, I do know that I'm rambling, because I'm just kind of like freestyling this, but I just want to say the overall theme for me is, instead of being frustrated at what's happening and being upset that my grandfather's home is damaged, that his tenant is unable to live downstairs and has to be in a hotel temporarily and even find somewhere else to live, I do feel for him, but I'm not allowing myself to get dragged down emotionally by that, because I definitely am an empath. But I'm not entirely shielded, because just being at home with my parents, I am soaking up a lot of the energy here, and so I have been pretty drained. There are ways that I protect myself, but they're not foolproof, if you know what I mean. I am who I am, and I am taking care of myself in terms of my energy. So I'm going on walks in nature, near the water. I take Max with me. I take breaks for myself. So instead of hanging out with my parents all the time, I'll come up to the bedroom here, and there is a TV in here. So sometimes I will watch television, even though for sleep hygiene it's not the best, but sometimes you need alone time. So I did that a lot yesterday in preparation for today. I was just kind of up in my room, hanging out. I have been getting up early in the morning to meditate. That's been helpful and wonderful. The sun rises a lot later in the morning here, and even though that makes for a much shorter day, it's actually helpful for me to just fall into this rest that the winter cultivates for us. So, just in light of this being a new year already, with it being the first week of the year, or the second week of the year, full week, we, the calendar that we use has us thinking that this is actually the beginning of the year. However, nature-wise, spring is the beginning of the year. And if you think about it logically, that's when the snow melts, the plants and flowers bloom. You see the activities of the animals pick back up. Animals come out of hibernation. They start procreating, and so on and so forth. So March is really the beginning of the year when Aries season starts. So this is actually for humans, animals, nature. This is the time to rest. So I am leaning into that rest as much as I can here, being an empath, and also just going with the flow of nature. So these are all things that I feel have kept me as energetically stable as possible, along with just going with the flow and seeing what spirit has for me. And I will know once I get there. So I just wanted to check in with you guys to show you, the processes that I go through when I'm dealing with difficulty. Yeah, I think that was it. I just, instead of going into my emotions and feeling frustrated or down, I just felt like this would be a good time to share. So I hope that this helped someone. Yeah. So I'm not really sure how to end this. I'm still very green with YouTube and making videos of myself. So anyway, I will check back in with you guys to let you know how things worked out. I'm scheduled to go home tomorrow evening, back to New Orleans with Max. So I'll let you guys know how that worked out and what was energetically going on, what I was being either shielded from, or what place I was being set in for whatever good is for me, or whatever it was that I feel, when I look back, just maybe even being in the house for one more night, that was helpful for my family. So anyway, talk to you guys soon. Bye.